Hi, I'm Ryan Clark from Team Solitaire MB1 Racing, and welcome to Night 2 of the 2007 U.S. Open of Supercross. Track's a whole different ball game today. They've moved the start. We're running it backwards. All the obstacles are different. We're going to take a look at the track, starting with the all-important start. The difference between last night and tonight, we got a nice wide open first turn. A lot more width going down the straightaway, and it doesn't funnel into a left-hand 180. It's actually a sweeper corner, so I think anywhere on the start gate you're going to be able to get a start from, with the exception of maybe the inside couple of gates that aren't quite lined up right with the first turn. But it's going to be anybody's ball game here, so I think it's going to be a little more interesting, a little more speed through the first turn, and kind of leave it open for some better racing. Exiting turn one, you're coming right off into a short double. And into this, basically the same set of whoops we had last night, just a different direction. The difference here is you're not carrying quite as much speed into them. And as you can see, your line selection here is pretty critical. As you exit the whoops, you're going into that small corridor and back outside. I believe the line here is going to stay to the left because that's going to give you the straightest shot, but there could be some good passing here. I think there's going to be some passes set up in this big wide sweeper into the first turn and get the deal done in the whoops. And I think it should be an interesting section here. This is probably going to be where the majority of the passing takes place tonight. Coming down this long corridor, you're picking up some speed right into basically a mirror image of yesterday's obstacle. What they basically did was took the lips and moved them to the other side of the jump, since we're coming the opposite direction. You're going to step up over this into a tight left-hand corner, step right back over the next obstacle. I think what this section is going to provide, coming in with so much speed, you get next to your competitor, somebody gets an inside line. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody on top of this container by the end of the night at some point. So it's close racing here. You know, very few people qualifying. It's going to be rough and tumble, and hopefully you're out front early. That's my goal. Here we're entering the building yet again. Basically the same section that we rode yesterday, just a different direction. What we've got is a little bit better berm on the entrance, so I think you could keep your entrance speed up a little bit by taking that outside leading in. But you know, you also want to guard your inside line. The next thing to think about is the approach to the next turn. If you're outside and you're on the left, you leave yourself a lot sharper corner here with a wall on the outside. You don't want to drift into that wall, but you don't want to leave your inside line open. It's kind of a quandary, and I think depending on the position, you kind of check where the guy is behind you leading into this section. That might determine which line you're going to choose. Racing the U.S. Open is kind of like playing a chess match. You got to outsmart your opponent. You've got a lot of different options here, and depending on where you're at coming in, you got a competitor right behind you. You're not going to want to give up that inside, but yet, you know, jumping on and off this tabletop section, for example, is the fastest way to do it. I think it's a decision you have to make in the spur of the moment. You know, obviously the goal here is to get free, get clear, not have to worry about the guy right behind you, but that's not always the way things work out. So I think you're going to see a couple different line options in this corner, and leading into the next rhythm section, you'll see where you go here is going to determine what you can do in the next section. Your position coming out of that previous step on, step off is going to kind of determine what you're able to do here. Guarding your line going inside is going to leave you with a single coming in. Probably be able to do a double triple in here somewhere, but that leaves you with another single coming out. So you're going to touch it one more time. Then if you were able to carry your speed, you don't have somebody behind you, you get out of that outside, do a double, triple, double. You're only touching twice in here. That's probably going to be the quickest way through the section, but like I said, you know, it's too many variables to know what you're going to do until you're basically entering the section. This could be a crucial section in tonight's race. Getting this obstacle or this set of obstacles nailed every lap is going to allow you to pick up time on your opponents and be in position, hopefully going for tonight's big win. The tabletop I'm standing on now did not exist last night. This was the start straightaway. What they've erected here is another rhythm section. I'm standing on the tabletop. Just prior to this, we've got a single jump that's going to kind of catapult us up on top of here. In this type of an obstacle, you've got a few different decisions to make. I think on this particular one, you can go all the way over it, possibly hit a triple into the corner. Looks pretty doable right now. You also have another option to get on top of the tabletop here and bounce off it over the next jump. What that's going to do is that's going to keep your rear wheel on the ground, get you more forward momentum, which is ultimately the goal in racing. Keeping the power to the ground is pretty much rule number one. We're standing on the finish line jump. The finish line is exactly the same jump as what was in last night's program. The difference, it's moved about 50 feet this way, and we've got another section after it that kind of changes things up. Yesterday, the finish line went into a left-hand bull corner. Tonight, it's going into a right-hander with a real tricky triple jump right out of it. So I believe trying to obviously stay as low as you can, get the power to the ground, accelerate, set yourself up in the next turn to do the triple. It's going to be the fastest line around this course.